Okay, Bunnings Trade Sydney Super Night, the first of four, and we're already done. And good racing all weekend long. Plenty of exciting topics to talk about. We'll start with the man in the middle, and he's the man of the weekend, Anton De Pasquale. Congratulations, Anton. Would you say this is certainly the most successful weekend you've had in terms of just speed and ability?
Yeah, pretty good. Probably similar to the Bend earlier this year. We were probably good for a couple wins there and had the motor dramas. So, yeah, car was good, rolled out of the truck really well. The guys did an awesome job in that sort of break, just getting everything spot on, and any niggly dramas we had, just nailing them on the head. And then, yeah, just sort of putting it all together, rolling out with a really good car, just sort of understanding what we needed, and, yeah, all good. Had some good few races.
Nice. Race 2 was a bummer, obviously. How did you find out about all that scenario playing out?
Yeah, race was a bummer. Just had an average start. I don't think it's a big drama because you're probably not going to be able to win 3 races around here just the way the tyres are. So if I won that one, I was going to lose this one and vice versa, you know. So not a big drama in that front. Just learning things with the clutch and starting. It's been a bit of a break. So just perfecting that. But yeah, about that exclusion is just Benny told me and said, made a mistake and this is what's happening and go win the next race. Like what can you do? You can't change things. Obviously the team just made an error, which they knew straight away, and they're the ones that let supercars know what happens. So they were pretty certain what was, you know, the rules are the rules, but just simple mistakes, not really an advantage in any ways. Just one of those things, but we'll rectify it and move on. 25 grand for the Sydney Cup across all 4. Do you reckon you can still win it? Oh, I haven't thought that far ahead. Doesn't help with an exclusion now, but yeah, I mean, we've always got a chance. We've all got a chance. 25 grand would be pretty cool. We can do some cool Christmas parties with that, couldn't we?
Good job, mate. Will Brown, 25 grand, it's a lot of money, and you got a pretty fast car for at least this weekend. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the car was fantastic. It was awesome for Erebus to be up there this weekend and consistently battling with these guys. So really happy with it, and the turnaround, obviously, race 1 with the pit stop was pretty disappointing. I think we made the right choice to go 4 tyres in that race, but just, made a bit of a balls up there. But apart from that, it was really good. And
that last race today, and the massive gap that was 10 seconds at one point, and then bang, you were right on him. What was that sensation like, being in the hunt?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think I went out there and I was probably driving a bit hard. They told me to drive to a number, and typical young bloke, I couldn't do that. So I just kept going flat out, and I knew when I was getting close to him, I was running out of puff, so I tried giving him a few taps when I got to him out of the last corner. But he had pretty good tyres. Oh, not pretty good tyres, but just good drive there, and pretty much just overheated him by the time I got there. But I had a crack again there and had a lot of fun.
Just uber excited to be racing this car at the moment with all the speed, and you get to come back to a location that's working for that car?
Yeah, it's great. For the crew, obviously there's a big change up at the end of last year. Anton left us, which was pretty rude, but no, it was but it was good. It's great. Like for the massive change up in Erebus, and to be doing, us be up there, we're 2 rookies, and we're having a lot of fun doing it, and that's what motorsport's about.
Job, mate. Well done this weekend. Jamie Winker on the podium and picking up some trophies. Cool to spray some champagne up there and finish the weekend with a trophy, mate?
Yeah, no, it's certainly almost relieving, to be honest, to be going on the podium. My teammate was making me look pretty ordinary all day, or certainly in the races. Certainly in the first 2 races, I was going backwards, he was going forwards. So, it was a little intense debrief. I sort of said we're looking pretty stupid. It used a bit of a Days of Thunder line, to be honest. You could probably guess what it was. Anyway, we got it together for the last one, and it was nice to get some champagne.
I'm guessing it wasn't go out and hit the pace car. That's
no,
for sure.
It wasn't hit the pace car. No.
You and Shane had that pretty good battle as well. You 2 were into it in Townsville, and then again there. Was there any thing in the back of your mind about the boil-over that had happened in the debriefing from Townsville?
Yeah, we've got one rule: don't run into each other. So it's always it's awkward racing your teammate because we don't want to crash into them. But so you got to leave them a little bit more room. But SVG's bloody hard to pass, so you've got to have a big go at the same time. So it's a juggling act. But no, we race each other hard. There's 10,000 people out here this weekend. So we certainly want to race to the end.
How cool is it, you're about to embark on a new chapter of your life, and we've got the next generation of hot shoe kids coming through. Just your thoughts on the next generation that are arriving now?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. That's the main reason why I'm moving over at the end of the year is to leave some space for the next gen, because there's a lot of young kids in other categories at the moment who are showing real potential. They just need a start. They need an opportunity. So these next few years, me and about 4 or 5 of the other boys, we all started sort of together back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. So we're all coming to the end of the road, but it's fantastic for the sport to have all the young kids going fast. And once a few young kids start tearing it apart, then it will it'll sort of be like a Lounsey scenario. You put a 21-year-old kid in, and hang on, they can actually do it. And that's when the Larrys and the Dicks Johnsons and the Brockies of the world sort of think, I'll go do something else. So it's good to see.
Bit of a changing of the guard, maybe, hey?
Yeah, I believe so. It's needed, and also in the management world as well. There's been a bit of a changing of the guard. You're seeing a lot of young personnel take on team principal roles and take on management positions within the teams as well. So that's also really good to see.
It's exciting. Thanks for that.
Yeah, cool.
Alrighty, let's open it up.
Congrats, boys. Will and Anton, obviously, it's a shame it couldn't happen last night, but today you're both on the podium. It's cool in the way that your careers have intertwined through Super 2, and then you shared a car at Bathurst and the Enduros for a few years, and now you're both here. So how cool is it to sort of bring that forward to the main game and actually be racing for the win together?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Obviously, back in whatever year that was, 2018, we're both just couple of young blokes having a dip at Bathurst, and now we're on the podium together, which is probably the reason why I knew he had no rear tyres left too, because seeing how they come off the car, so I knew he was going to be using them. But in all seriousness, it's obviously good to see. Well, as a lot of us, we've been racing together for a while and being good mates, and you always want people to be on the podium and new faces. So Will's been denied a couple this year, so it's been quick. So it's pretty cool for him to get one. Obviously missed it last night. Being quick pushed me again today, and then obviously. Good to see him on there. Obviously didn't want him to get the top step, but I was happy to see him get the other one.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Obviously for me, racing with Anton in 2018 and all of these guys, fantastic for me to step up as a young bloke. But like Anton said, we had a lot of fun going racing as co-drivers, and to be sharing the podium is fantastic now, especially after sort of Anton's made that transition over to DJR and I've stepped up to Erebus. It's pretty cool to do it in the first year.
And, we journos love cliches, but I'll throw the word redemption considering yesterday. Does it make it obviously sweeter today to, first of all, get to the podium, but obviously challenge for the win again after yesterday?
Yesterday would have been pretty sweet as well, actually, to get it. But, I guess, it was fantastic, for the boys doing a good stop and us to back up. Yesterday we knew we had the pace, but a couple of times throughout the year we have had the pace and fell off overnight. So that's where we weren't sure. We were thinking, what do we do overnight? Will they catch up to us? But it's fantastic. They did a great job, and to back it up today and show the pace, I'm pretty glad we have 4 weekends in a row here now.
And one quick one from me for you, J-Dub. When you get back to the garage and you see the data boards and you see that there's 20 seconds to Anton, what runs through your head, and what's the thinking from now till next Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, well, there's a small factor with 4 tyres versus 3 tyres, but it certainly doesn't make up the whole 20 seconds. We're a fair bit down after the first stint, so no, without doubt. Car 11 was superior this weekend. We've seen Scotty do a good job, but at the same time, it looks hard to drive. So although you've got a fast car, you still got to wheel the thing. So himself and what Scotty used to do, they did a good job at the same time. So it's a combination of driver and car. So, and the Erebus boys, they come out of the truck strong as well. So yeah, we're going to venture away from what we traditionally do next week, and it might hurt us, but we might find some gains as well. But we won't die trying. Won't die wondering.
Thank you.
You've got to try.
Congratulations. I think, Anton, I'll talk to you. We know when we go to Sydney Motorsport Park, we're going to be talking a lot about tyres, but on the broadcast today, we just saw them pretty much ripped to shreds. Are any of you surprised by how bad the sort of tyre deck is at the moment?
I think the tyre deck's pretty normal for what I've experienced here. in the past. I mean, I had a tyre delaminated in that last race, which is obviously a rarity, but we've seen, obviously Shane had a cut or whatever yesterday, and there's been a couple of those. So where that comes from, not too sure. But tyre degs, it's, I think, semi-normal. It's probably, you can push quite hard through the first sector now because it's a new surface, but you're copping it bad in the last sector. So it's just managing that. But yeah, I think, it probably feels better than what I did like a couple of years ago when I see it, because I was just hanging it sideways, and now I'm sort of a bit more in control. But yeah, I think it is what it is. It's kind of good when you got tyre deg, you got to think about it in the race, and there's opportunities for like someone like Will to catch me 10 seconds just with a bit of a tyre overlap and just time it tyres in hand. So it makes for good racing and makes the strategy change up a bit. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. Tyre deg's fun.
Did you want to add something to that, Will? Or you?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I don't know, tyre deg.
Sorry, it looked like you were going to say something.
No.
What he said.
Yeah.
A couple of questions from afar. Journo's texting them in who couldn't be here, so I'll do them the honour. Craig Ravel. Anton, out of the trailer, you were fast. How much easier or manageable is a weekend when you can look for hundredths of a second after practice one than when you were looking for, say, tenths of half a second particularly?
Rolling out of the truck quick, especially when you've only got a couple half-hour sessions, it's pretty handy because then you can sort of, you're not looking for big things in yourself or the car and questioning things and making big changes session to session. So the car stays quite consistent and just small little things that you're looking for. So you can keep pushing harder, and you know what you're going to get at turn one and so on. So it's definitely helps. And for us, this is the best we've sort of rolled out, understanding what we're going to do. And how the car's been pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be out of the truck. So that's been good. It's not trying to, you're not fighting it straight away in practice one and then building back up from there over the weekend. So it's definitely a good thing. I definitely wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah.
Okay, and for Jamie. Jamie, when you look at the weekend as a whole, as a driver, would you have preferred all the races at night?
Oh. No, I think for the formats, we just need to keep changing it up. It's a good thing. Have a few under lights, few during the day, different qualifying formats. And just going back to that deg question, yeah, if you thought it was bad, we've got the Super Soft coming up at SMP4, so that's going to be deg, yeah.
And as an owner, should every track that has lights only ever run at night time, and should potentially they also be on both free-to-air and of course Fox Sports?
Oh, I won't go into the free-to-air Fox Sports debate. That's for you. But no, I think if tracks have got lighting facility, for sure. It sort of works for my mates because we're all busy during the day, and they can fulfil the day, whether it's looking after kids, whether it's the day job, whether it's doing the general chores of life, and then you get to the end of the day, and then invite friends around, have a few cans on the couch, and enjoy supercar racing, for the night. So it works well, but of course we don't want to interrupt our premier events like Bathurst or the street tracks. They work best during the day. So I think a good mix between the two is the gun setup.
Nice. Okay, final call for questions. Going once.
Anton, did anything change this weekend from your point of view? Obviously, the car was great when you came out. Jamie was saying he's drawn a comparison between how you're driving and how Scott used to drive. The car's not easy to drive, but you're doing a good job with it. How are you feeling where you're at? Is it too early for us to be calling you the new Scotty Mac?
I don't like to be like anyone else too often. I mean, obviously, he's fast, so that's a good thing. But anything different, not really too sure. Hard to pinpoint that. Obviously, just sort of had 3 months to think about how I can go better, and the teams had 3 months to think about what they can do better, and we sort of put the two together. And obviously have a lot of conversations about it, and so far that's sort of worked out. So, yeah, it's probably what you would have done in the off season, thinking about next year, just sort of going through everything quite slowly, understanding things, being first year at a team and car and so on. So we've had that sort of luxury, but at the same time would have been nice to keep racing. So yeah, just had a bit of time to think about it, work on things, put things into action, and so far so good. Cool.
Thanks for your input, everybody. Great work for those on the podium. See you next week.